Oh God. Oh no. Good folks. If you go back to the second or third Life Lessons episode, I talk about how I use something called mahogany woods, lovably dubbed man-hogany woods. And it's a sad day. So, I'm all out of man-hogany woods. And Bath and Body Works doesn't carry it anymore.
So that's lovely.
No longer will I feel like my manliness is cranked to 100 and I can tear down a forest with my erect penis alone. It's all gone, folks. Roll the intro. Monday, folks. You know that means Game of Thrones recap and thoughts, so skip to this time if you don't want to hear spoilers. Just finished EastWatch, the 5th episode for Season 7. Fuck, this is a good one. We got a lot of stuff to go over. Action-wise, this may not have been, like, super fucking packed and, like, on the edge of your seat. As far as story things go, and, like, little things to pick up on in the scenes, this is one of those episodes where it's setting things up. You know what I mean? Okay, so I'm going to try and go from the beginning to the end of the episode with all my notes, but there may be some jumping around here and there. Either way, I already put the skip time, so if you're still here, stay out of my comments with all the spoiler shit, because I got them all right here, and you should have avoided them. Okay, so last we saw Jamie, he was sinking into the Blackwater. I figured that's actually the Blackwater Rush, I believe it's called, or like it's the river, and that river actually connects to like the greater like bodies of water and everything. So that's actually really fucking interesting. Also, to throw it in there, if anyone has like a poster of the map of Westeros, or like they find one or whatever, send it to me. I'll buy it off you if I have to. But either way, so Bronn saved Jamie. We got, like, Bronn somehow swam to the bottom and dragged his ass up with, like, all of his armor on and everything. You can tell that Jamie realizes just, like, how fucking real things have gotten now. You see that fear of dragons when he says, like, that was only one, and she has 2 more. Like, that's fucking, like, I don't know. To see that fear on Jamie's face, it's almost like he's having flashbacks. In the last episode, he kind of did go through like a form of PTSD in a way. We see him standing there while people have been burned and everything, and he sees basically like that situation with the Mad King in a way again. Either way, I digress. Bronn, not willing to fight against dragons, also not willing to let Jamie die until he gets his castle. So, true Bronn fashion on that one. Tyrion. He's you can tell he's feeling very conflicted about this whole, his position with Daenerys. He's walking through all these ashes. He sees the burnt Lannister shield, you know? He's really, like, you see him trying to kind of, like, almost compromise or negotiate with Dany and kind of, like, trying to stop the killing of innocents because, one, I don't think he enjoys that too much. 2, I think he also sees how like people are going to react to that and how that's going to affect their side of the war. You know what I mean? There's more about Tyrion, actually. Let's go. Yeah. Okay, so we got to wait for that. Try not to jump around too much in this one. Let's go Cersei. She's still confident that she can just use like the gold to win. They can hire mercenaries or whatever. But then she kind of like, even with that, like in the same like sentences, you can see like, oh, she's like, oh, you know, we'll use gold, we'll buy mercenaries, we'll do this. But then she also kind of like, after Jamie says, like, I've seen what the Dothraki can do. Like, I had to fight against all these people. Your gold won't win anything. You kind of like, you see her almost go into a panic mode in a way. because she starts bringing up, like, you know, kind of the fact that she sits on a Targaryen throne. As far as Daenerys is concerned, Cersei is sitting on that throne. Cersei's brother killed her father. Dany feels like that's her throne anyway. So the people that killed her father are on that throne. And Cersei, in her mind, that's been weighing on her. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Well, she definitely still holds, like, even, like, when Jaime first is telling her about Olenna's confession, she won't believe it. She still wants to hold on to that grudge and that anger for Tyrion. She wants to feel like she's still smarter than Jaime in a way, too. But at the same time, like, it's one of those things, like, Jaime lays it all out for her and just kind of, like, she has no choice but to accept it in a way. She knows that it's the truth. I think she also knows that there is going to be no peace for her, regardless of during this war or after. I don't know. I think she realizes she has too many enemies and too many people that are going to be coming for her now. You know what? Let's move over to the other queen, Daenerys. Is she becoming the Mad Queen? Burning, like, the innocents and everything like that? Saying, you know, bend the knee or fucking basically die? I don't know, folks. Could be interesting. One thing is when she gets back to Dragonstone on Drogon, Jon and Drogon have this moment where he, like, puts his hand on Drogon and they, like, basically, it's like they almost fucking connect with each other. The look on Daenerys' face, it's almost like she's questioning and she's, like, almost realizing, like, holy shit, does this guy have Targaryen blood in him? Is he truly a full Stark? You can see there's a lot, like, there's questions, there's realizations, like, all hitting her at once. I know at one point after, too, I'm going to jump a little bit ahead just because it's a quick thing. When Jon is leaving Dragonstone towards the end of the episode, she says, like, you know, the King of the North grew on her. I wonder if that moment with Drogon kind of played a part in that for her. Maybe we'll never know. I feel like it did, though. You know what? Let's get this out of the way. Gendry! He's back! And even better, Sir Davos hits him with this line.
Thought you might still be rowing.
Something we've basically all been joking around about since, like, we saw him row away. So, I don't know. It was pretty sweet that was thrown in there. Awesome enough, he's back at the blacksmiths. Okay, and a reminder. Season 1, I believe it was, we find out that Gendry is the bastard son of Robert Baratheon. So there is still surviving Baratheon members. He's a bastard, obviously, so his rightful, like, claim to the throne or anything like that, I don't think is legitimate in a lot of people's eyes, but either way, there is still Baratheon blood out there. One thing, where is it? Yes. Okay, so when Davos is kind of, like, saying, you know, trying to get him to kind of, like, come with him, Gendry basically hits him with this.
Me? You want me to come with you?
Well, I think you need to understand this.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Like, he's ready to fight the Lannisters, the dead, whoever he has to. And there's really something really interesting that happens here. So, in the wars against Rhaegar, is it Rhaegar? Yes, I believe it is. So, Rhaegar Targaryen, when Robert Baratheon fought him, he actually, I believe it was how he was defeated. He killed Rhaegar by Robert was known for using a warhammer in battles and everything. He didn't really use a sword. So he killed Rhaegar using a warhammer. Davos tells Gendry, you should grab one of those swords. He's like, no, I don't know how to swing a sword. But he grabs the fucking warhammer that he made.
This I know.
And that is so dope. Because he has the Baratheon stag on it as well. And we never got to see Robert really use his, like, warhammer or anything in the show. So it's actually really cool that we get to see Gendry use it. And the fact that he made it. And he's actually really good with it. Fucking swings at two guards and crushes one's face in. So he definitely knows how to use it. Jumping ahead a little bit. Him and Jon have a moment because Davos brings him to Dragonstone. Davos doesn't want him to disclose that he's Robert's, like, son and all that. But he does. That's how he introduces himself. And this, actually, I think, is more of a tactic from Gendry to connect with Jon, because they're both, like, the bastard sons. Well, one of them Definitely is. But, you know, Jon and his whole Targaryen stuff. Either way. It was really dope to actually, like, see him and Jon and Gendry, like, standing with each other, and the way they were, like, talking about their dads, and, like, kind of like, I don't know. To me, it would just screamed out, like, Gendry and Jon, Robert and Ned. They fought together, they were friends. I'm not saying that they're friends and everything. It was just a really cool parallel to see, like, you know, Robert and Ned's sons standing together, like, ready to fight with each other. So, very cool parallel. We are going to skip Jon for now, because I want to skip ahead to the Maesters. There's a lot of interesting things that happens with the Maesters. Actually, narrator, could you take over? I want to take a quick sip of the coffee.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
The wise old maesters of the Citadel refuse to believe that children of the forest, three-eyed ravens, mothers of dragons, truly exist. Could this be from isolation? Who knows?
Thanks, man. And the other thing that we hear, they don't use the Ravenry a lot. But he says, you know, I can't remember the Maester's name, but he says, you know, the Ravenry is in, like, pieces last time I remembered. Like, it was basically, like, falling apart. The fact that the Maesters, one, like, don't believe in the children of the forest, don't believe in White Walkers, don't believe in, like, dragons. Fucking crazy. But I think this actually could be due to isolation. So if they went to the Citadel when they were young and that's where they've grown up, all they know is in these walls. You know what I mean? Like, everything else is basically stories. It's crazy too, because the fact that, like, these are, like, supposed to be the wise old maesters, but then, like, things that are really happening, things that are going on right fucking now, they don't believe in it. They don't believe in the three-eyed raven, the children. Like, it's what? That's fucking crazy. But I think it has to do a lot with the isolation effect of, like, just being in the Citadel their whole lives. Let's jump over to Bran, and then, actually no, let's jump over to Sam, because Maesters, Sam makes sense. So the Maesters straight up don't believe what Sam's saying. Like, they're basically saying, well, yeah, it could be true. Could also be bullshit, though, so let's just keep it going. Like, Sam knows this shit is true. Like, you know when you've seen something, you know it's real, you were there, and just people don't believe you? It starts to piss you off, starts to upset you, starts to frustrate you. That's where Sam is at now, with basically the whole Maesters. They don't believe him. He always just has to read about what other people have done. And I believe, I might be wrong, but I feel like the quote that Sam says, because he...
Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's pull back a little bit.
Sam is trying to stay patient. You definitely see that in these scenes. But, one, he's seen too much. He knows what's actually out there. And he just has, like, all these people telling him, like, no, go fucking scrub some more shit pots, you know what I mean? He just has enough of it. And you see that with the scene with him and Gilly. We've never seen him snap on her. And he does. But he shouldn't have. Because in that scene with Gilly, she is reading a very important piece of information, folks. You know what? Let's just roll that clip.
Maynard says here that he issued an annulment for Prince Rhaegar and remarried him to someone else at the same time in a secret ceremony in Dawn. Is that a common thing in the South?
These maesters.
I'm sorry. Rhaegar got a marriage annulled and then secretly married somebody else? There's record of this, folks. Gilly had the answers to Jon's parents. Right there. She was reading it. Ugh. Ugh. Okay, so now we are going to be talking about Cersei a little bit more. There's a scene where Jaime's coming into her room and you hear Qyburn say, do you want me to give you anything? Like, along those lines. Basically saying, like, do you want me to give you anything for, like, do you need medication or something? What's Cersei going through? Because I don't think it's a pregnancy. I think it might be something else. I don't know, though. Kind of interesting because she kind of hits this point with this conversation with Jaime, saying that, like, maybe joining forces with Daenerys will be worth it in the end. Because Well, I think she would just join her to destroy her. But puts her hands on her stomach and says, like, you know, for our kingdom, for our family, for this. And Jaime and her basically exchange looks like, oh shit, you're pregnant? Yeah, I'm pregnant. But is she? Are we really going to act like some girls out there don't fake a pregnancy? Don't tell guys they're pregnant when they're not? I don't know. Just, I feel like that's something that Cersei could really, like, would definitely really do. But it's interesting. I want to know what she's going through in a way that Qyburn is offering medication for her. Okay. I gotta jump to Ser Jorah. Because, one, Ser Jorah is fucking back. Which was awesome to see. Him seeing Dany again was just, it was a beautiful, beautiful moment. Him also offering, basically on his first day back, like, yeah, so Jon and everybody want to lead a raid past the wall? Try and capture a white to show Cersei this shit is real? I'll do that for you. Fucking badass, man. Like, he just wants to prove himself to Dany. God. Let's go over to Sansa, Arya, and Littlefinger. We're going to travel back over to Winterfell, folks. So, you definitely see a struggle with her and Arya. Their personality types, just kind of like how they feel about different things. I can't help but feel like Arya almost is seeing like a comparison between Cersei and Sansa. Because, and you know what? She might not be wrong. It seems like a lot of the men of the North don't agree with Jon trying to go like past the wall to fight the White Walkers or whatever. Unless I got confused on that. I don't know. Either way, they don't want him to do something, and they're basically like questioning his like leadership and everything because of it. Arya has the feeling that Sansa is just kind of like, well, as long as I keep relationships with these guys and me good, then even if this shit doesn't work out with Jon, they can still help me get what I want, whether that be a throne, a crown, whatever it is. And that is very Cersei-like in a way, where it's like, I'm not going to worry about, you know, my brother and like what the king is saying. I kind of just need to make sure I'm going to have my ducks in a row for like my game plan regardless. So, I don't know, folks. It'd be very interesting to see, like, I don't know, what is her goal? You know what I mean? Maybe if she sees the army of the dead, she'll change her mind too. With Arya and Littlefinger, obviously very suspicious. I believe Lord Baelish is on Arya's list. I had mentioned in the beginning of this season in one of the first episodes, or it might have been a couple episodes ago, when they mentioned Master Lewin's scrolls and how there's a copy of every scroll sent to or sent from Winterfell. And you see Littlefinger give that look back like he's interested in it. Well, folks, paid off. To all the people that say like the little things I pick up on scenes are probably like pointless, they're not always pointless. Because Littlefinger did want a scroll. And I was able to make out some of the words on it. It's actually the scroll after Robert had died and Joffrey took the throne. It's the scroll that Sansa was going to send to Jon, or sent to Jon. I believe it was to Jon. I might be wrong on that. But either way, she finds that scroll basically saying, like, you know, Joffrey's our king now, bend the knee, your faithful sister, Sansa. So what happened, he wanted that scroll. Arya's spying on him. He sees him, like, she's spying on him. He goes and talks to this younger girl. Then he goes and talks to the leader of the Night's Vale, and then it might be the Night's Watch, or can't remember. Might have been Golden Vale and Night's Watch. Either way, goes and talks to two leaders. It's kind of weird. Can't really understand what he's saying and everything, but I don't know. He's definitely playing his Littlefinger games. So it ends up going like Arya follows him back to like somebody bringing something to Littlefinger's room. And we see that it's that, like, a little scroll. Fast forward a little bit, Arya breaks into his room after he leaves and finds that scroll, reads it, and now she kind of, like, I don't know how she's going to be feeling about Sansa. I feel like it could put some pressure on their relationships. But at the same time, I feel like Littlefinger wanted Arya to find this. Or even if he didn't, now that she's seen it, it's one of those things, like, he'll be happy, like, in his weird little way, that she has seen that note from Sansa. We'll have to see what happens. Another thing, when she first gets into the room, she's going through the closet, and basically kind of throughout that room, you hear ravens cawing in the background. Now, one thing I've noticed is that happens a lot in this season. Since Bran has been back in Winterfell, you've heard more ravens in the background, and I think that that's actually the ravens watching Littlefinger and whoever else, because Bran can't be with them all the time. And I think because when Arya leaves the room, we have that shot of Littlefinger just like staring ominously at her, or menacingly, I should say. It's almost like those ravens are like warning Arya that Littlefinger is in the hallway, but she can't understand them. So good, folks. Oh my goodness, are we almost done? I feel like this has been like 20 minutes long. There's been a lot of thoughts. We'll do these two last ones real quick. Tyrion and Varys. Tyrion's really trying to justify what's happening with Dany, and Varys kind of says, like, when I served the Mad King, I did the same thing. I'm not the one who, like, I brought them here. Like, I caught them, but I didn't burn them. You know what I mean? So it's kind of one of those things, like, Tyrion is trying to justify what's happening, and Varys is kind of, like, giving his experience of doing the same thing, but it never made a difference, like, with him. He knew he was still at fault. Oh, fuck. Bronn also still plays his friendship and loyalty, I guess, in a way, with Tyrion, because he brings Tyrion and Jaime together for, like, that quick meeting while Davos is, like, talking with Gendry. And that's when Tyrion kind of warns Jaime about, like, the army of the dead, and saying kind of like, I don't want, like, Daenerys is going to win this war. I don't want to see you guys die in his way. But Jaime's still, like, holding on to a lot of anger and frustration with him, honestly. But I think it's because, like, there's also that, like, a lot of love in there from him, to be honest with you. It ended up being a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. So my bad, folks. So Jon, he's still hiding his death from Daenerys. Daenerys asked him about, Sir Davos said you took a dagger to the heart. What did he mean by that? He didn't tell her. He just said, like, Davos has, like, a way of being dramatic in a way. Will him and Ser Jorah, like, talk about Sam? Because Sam cured Ser Jorah of the dragon scale. Sam knows about a lot of different, like, Sam is, like, almost like this connecting factor with so many people. It's crazy. He knows that Bran and Arya are alive, although it's bittersweet because it's sent in the Raven that Bran sent to him, saying, like, hey, I saw the Night's King and his fucking army. They're moving their way to Eastwatch. Which is also really cool because when Bran, the quick scene where you see, like, the crows and everything in the tree, you see their eyes when they blink. Once they'll be white, once they'll be normal. That was actually really cool to kind of, like, let us know that, like, Bran's tapping into all of them.
Yeah.
Basically, when he's telling, like, Daenerys, like, he's gonna leave the island and everything so he can go and help his people, Daenerys says, like, I didn't give you permission. And you see Jon be a king in that moment. Because he says, with all due respect, I'm a king. I don't need your permission. I need to go help my people. That's what's going on. So, really fucking dope to see Jon coming into his leadership role fully. He's going to lead the raid past the wall, trying to fight the White Walkers, trying to probably capture one to bring back. In that, we're actually going to have the Brotherhood, like the Hound, God damn it, I can't remember his name. The guy with the one eye keeps up getting revived and everything. Either way, the Brotherhood and the Hound have been arrested. Like, they were found by the Night's Watch, brought to the wall, and they're all on their way out right now to go and fight the White Walkers or whatever else awaits them out there. So, I don't know, folks. It's going to be super fucking interesting. This season's actually almost over. We only got 2 episodes left. So it'll be really interesting to see how everything gets left off for this season. Obviously, episode 6 we have a preview for, and that we see them fighting the dead, but we also see some things going on with Arya and Sansa. We're seeing that relationship struggle between them. So, I don't know, folks. Shit is getting intense. Well, it's already gotten intense, but now it's getting even more intense. Well, I was hoping to be able to film some more, but some things need my attention. So, today's vlog shall just be an episode recap, and I guess Mahogany Woods breakdown. So thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, comment below. I might not reply, but I do read them all, I promise you that. Patreon.com/Church of Juvy. $2 a month, get a personalized thank you. $5 a month, you get exclusive videos, early access to short films, music, and you get a thank you. So, bam. Alright, let's roll the outro.